Thank y'all for all coming. I'm Keith Stone, Sheriff of Nash County. The reason I've called you today is we've had an incident that happened on the 14th of March of an unfortunate situation on Savage Road. Our PIO will discuss the details of this incident, and then after that I'll take questions. So at this time I'll have my PO, Sergeant Bissett, step up and give you the details of the incident that occurred.
I'm Kevin Bissett with the Nash County Sheriff's Office. On Friday, March 14th, 2025, at approximately 10:09 p.m., the Nash County Sheriff's Office responded to a report of breaking and entering with larceny of tools from a vehicle at the residence of Savage Road in Springfield, North Carolina. While deputies were en route to the scene, the homeowner, later identified as Zachary Bryant, called 911 at roughly about 10:19 p.m. and advised that he had shot someone. Upon arrival, deputies located Mr. Bryant near a crashed vehicle. The vehicle had collided with a wooded area west of the residence that Mr. Bryant stayed in. Inside the vehicle, law enforcement discovered a juvenile suffering a gunshot wound to the head. The juvenile was transported to Wake Medical Center and is currently in critical condition. Preliminary investigations has discovered that Mr. Bryant reported that he was inside his home when he heard his dogs were barking. He went outside and observed two light-skinned males running from his truck that was inside his yard. Mr. Bryant saw that the subjects entered a red vehicle that was near the intersection of NC 581 and Savage Road. The vehicle then left and traveled south on NC 581 towards Springfield. Mr. Bryant went back inside his residence to put on clothes, retrieve a handgun, and also grab a flashlight. Upon checking his truck, Mr. Bryant noticed that his toolbox had been opened and some tools were missing. At 10:09 p.m., Mr. Bryant called 911 and reported the incident. A short time later, Mr. Bryant was found walking on the shoulder road near the ditch at the intersection of NC 581 and Savage Road. He then witnessed a red vehicle that matched the vehicle description that he earlier reported turn onto Savage Road from NC 581. As the vehicle turned onto the road, Mr. Bryant, while he was still on the shoulder of the road, engaged the vehicle. As the vehicle traveled down Savage Road, Mr. Bryant fired multiple shots at the car, allegedly attempting to disable the vehicle. As the vehicle passed him, one round struck the driver in the head. There were 4 juveniles located inside the vehicle at the time of the shooting. The driver was a 15-year-old male, as well as an additional 15, 14, and 16-year-old passenger. Under North Carolina law, the names of juveniles will not be released. We will not be releasing those at this time. The case is currently under investigation or review by Nash County District Attorney's Office, and charges regarding the juveniles are pending further investigation. The Nash County Sheriff's Office urges the public to remain patient as this investigation continues. Further details will be provided at a later date as they become available. Under North Carolina General Statutes 14-51.3, a person is justified in using deadly force and does not have a duty to retreat in any place he or she has a lawful right to be, or he or she believes that such force is necessary to prevent imminent death or great bodily harm to himself or herself or another. Based off the evidence available at the time and statements made by Mr. Bryant, he was away from the residence, he was outside the path of the vehicle, and had no concerns with the vehicle striking him. The vehicle and its occupants appear to be leaving, which at this point does not meet the criteria as a justified use of deadly force.
Thank you. So at this time, if you've got any questions, feel free to ask. We'll try to clear up any misconceptions or anything that I can do to clear up anything that was going on in the investigation.
How far away was Mr. Bryant, the place that he was walking, from his house?
It was in the yard, in the
in the
curtilage
yard.
of his yard, and he walks out towards the road, so, within quick walking distance.
it's estimated to be within 30 to 60 yards away from his residence at the corner or near the intersection of Savage Road and NC 581.
How much time is believed to have happened between the time that the suspects were seen leaving and the time that Mr. Bryant saw the car on the road?
So it was about 10 minutes that had went by, and from the time that his dogs were barking and he noticed something going on, he goes out and initially looks and then goes back in and retrieves a firearm, gets his flashlight and puts clothes on. So you know that's time and duration of time. He goes back out, and at that time he notices the vehicle back on the road, coming down the road, and it's not a high traveled road. And at that time, that's when the vehicle was engaged. So all of this in the span of everything probably was 10 minutes to 15 minutes.
Can you say what kind of firearm was used and how many times Mr. Bryant fired the firearm?
That's still under investigation. The exact number of times it was fired, it was multiple firing, and it was a semi-automatic weapon,
Pistol?
pistol.
Is it his? Was it his?
It was his firearm from the
And
best.
the person that was hit was a driver, he's 15, is that correct?
That is correct.
And all the other juveniles are males?
They're all males that all live in the vicinity of that area up there around Spring Hill.
Do you have any kind of camera or video surveillance equipment around the area? that could pick up anything?
There is videos of different areas that's part of the investigation at this time, but at the residence, I've not got any information on that at this time, but investigators are working, it's a full investigation with that.
Is he still being held without bond?
He is, he will have the first appearance that will happen in the morning, and then his bond will be set.
Is he the only suspect?
He's the only suspect at this time.
Have these juveniles had any encounter with this man, to your knowledge, or is this the first time there's been any encounter?
This is the first time that I know of any encounter with them. I think that everybody kind of loosely knows everybody. You got to remember, we're a rural community and most people know each other. If we don't know them, one of our friends or one of our family members will know them.
So did the juveniles get into their vehicle, leave the property, and then were found coming back down the road?
That is correct. They left after breaking into the vehicle, and they leave for a short time, and then they're coming back down the road, and that's when the altercation was not altercation. That's when the shots began being fired.
Do you have any additional information on the medical condition of the one who was shot in the head?
We do. He's in critical condition at this time. And that's one of the things I want to discuss with the public. Property is never an excuse to use deadly force. That's why it is so important that the public that are carrying firearms, two things you've got to do. Make sure it's safe. The last thing you want to do is hurt one of your family members or have a family member hurt themselves with this firearm, and know the law dealing with it. This is a very unfortunate situation when you've got these juveniles that are out doing things, and the parents need to keep up with their children, know where they're at, know what's going on, and understand where they're at and have them accountable. And the next thing, if you've got a firearm, you need to make sure that you know the laws to protect yourself and people around you with it.
Are deputies searching for the 3 passengers in the car, or are they in custody or cooperating with the investigation?
That they have cooperated with investigations.
So they have talked to y'all, they've cooperated, they've been for your...
They are, and it's all as a subject of investigation.
They're not related, are they, to the...
I don't know the relationship of them. I know they're friends. They could be related, loosely related. I'm not sure.
So all the other juveniles except for the one in the hospital have talked to y'all?
They have. They've been cooperative.
Are we expecting any charges to be filed against any of the juveniles?
Absolutely. You know, you can't go around breaking in people's vehicles and doing things of that nature. So the law pertains to breaking and entering just as it does in this situation. It's a very unfortunate circumstance where people are out doing wrong, and then somebody uses a firearm and uses it in the wrong way.
Was Mr. Bryant, and you may not be able to answer this, but did he say he was attempting to stop the vehicle by firing at it?
The allegedly stopped the vehicle by firing at it. As I said earlier, you cannot use deadly force to stop a vehicle. You cannot use deadly force to stop a theft. You can only use deadly force in one instance, and that is to save your life or a third party's life, and it's got to be the immediate threat of death for you to utilize the firearm.
Did he say anything about trying to shoot the tires to stop the car?
You know, that's the part that's, you can't shoot anything, you can't fire a firearm at someone or try to stop a vehicle. It's the use of a deadly weapon. You cannot do that.
Is this the first time since you've been sheriff that a juvenile has been shot by someone in this county?
No, we've had other juveniles shot. We've had juveniles to shoot themselves, and that's why I keep stressing the importance of make sure you know what your kids are doing, make sure that you keep up with your kids, and if there's firearms around, make sure that they're trained. I go back to the philosophy, you wouldn't let your kid or anyone else drive a vehicle up and down the road without having training to do it. We have driver's education. Make sure that you're trained with the firearm. It's a deadly weapon. It's called that for a purpose. Any other questions?
So, sorry, I'll try again. The one who's been arrested, he is to appear in district court
That is correct.
tomorrow?
And he'll have a first appearance in the morning when court opens.
Have you all had any encounters with him before?
Not to my knowledge.
What's he do?
What does he do?
I-
Yeah, does everybody know what he's like?
He was a worker.
Like a seasonal worker?
No, he was,
Like a laborer?
well, did that type of work, yeah.
Laborer?
Any other questions?
And he's facing which, okay, so four
And I've got a copy that I'm gonna pass out.
Four
to you
charges, right?
with everything that's listed right there. I've got a sheet that's got every bit of it on the press release that I'll provide to each one of you.
Well, obviously, what the juvenile will live, but if the juvenile does not live, do you have, or do you contemplate what charges this man will face?
Absolutely, it's a felony whenever you meet the threshold of stealing. And in this instance, it was, a lot of stuff in the vehicle. And so if it meets that threshold of a felony, it'll be a felony.
Would it be first degree, second degree murder? If they die?
If that is left entirely up to the district attorney, we'll be in consultation with him tomorrow. Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.